Tonight I wanna see the bright lights over me. Show me something magical, something beautiful. Come and take me higher, set my world on fire tonight, tonight. Show me everything I want and more. Take me right around the world. I'm feeling tonight, got me feeling so right. Let's start the good life.
This week on Top Billing, SA's favourite leading men take us back to the presenter search that changed everything for them. Simba relives making the cut, almost losing the plot, then landing one of the best jobs in TV. To Jonathan, personal challenges became opportunity, and 2014 the best year of his life. We relive the moments that took their breath away, discuss their bromance for the first time, and Jonathan and Simba are your co-hosts tonight. Coming to you from the home of Caroline and Martin Davidson, here on the Eye of Africa's signature estate.
Good evening and welcome to a Top Billing special on the life-changing effect the presenter searches had on our winners.
Like Jonathan's dress sense for starters.
Simba can actually speak to women now.
Hey, listen, you've both got a lot to be thankful for, and here's how it all started.
In the year of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, South Africa showed an appetite for drama and entertainment as over 5,000 contestants descended on the city centres for the Top Billing presenter search auditions.
There are literally hundreds of people here, all vying for the position that'll take them across the world for really the best job in the world. So who's going to win? Me!
It seems like a dream job. I think everybody wants it, as you can see by the queues. I can't actually believe you get paid to do something this great, and I'm just here to try it out. It really will be a dream come true.
Top Billing, best of the good life.
I've dreamed about it since I was in grade 6. I've always watched Bussy and the likes, and I've just always loved Top Billing and the lifestyle. So I'm just here to take my chances.
Into the mix stepped a 21-year-old University of Johannesburg BCom student, athlete, and a man with dreams as big as his 6'2" frame.
I remember Joanne being on screen and she said, we're looking for people that are young, talented, and energetic to audition for the presenter search. And I thought, you know what, that could be me. So I rocked up on the Friday, and the line was ridiculously long. There's no way I was going to wait in that line for hours. So what I did was I came back on the Saturday and I slept in my car outside the hotel and I auditioned early the next morning. But even the next morning I was all dressed up and stuff, and I looked at all these beautiful people in the line and they're all dressed to the nines and they were regurgitating their lines. They had these amazing auditions, but mine was just fun. And I thought, okay, well, let's see what happens. I almost stepped out of the line, to be honest. And eventually they called out my number. I still remember it to this day, number 4063. As I stepped back from behind the banner, I tried to greet the judges. All they said was, action.
You viewers know her as Jeannie D. I've come to know her as my next girlfriend. Or perhaps maybe Jeannie Double D, for reasons beyond my comprehension. But from now on, she'll be immortalized as Jeannie 3D for being featured on Cosmopolitan's first 3D photo shoot.
I think you're great on TV. Very nice delivery.
Oh, thank you.
Very
so is this
strong.
the part where you say, oh my God, Carrie, like his arms are so big, and then I run over.
Yes.
And then you say, can I get a grab?
Oh my God, Simba, like your arms are so big. They really are.
While others were losing their cool, Simba, the fun but self-disciplined son of missionary parents, was about to deliver what producers Patience Stevens and Vasisana Kumalo were after.
We're not looking for a supermodel here. We're looking for somebody who's got a great personality, somebody who shines in front of the camera, but also somebody who's got this sense of humility. You know, Top Billing, we're all a family, and we're looking for somebody who can fit in and work with the team.
I want to see somebody with a sparkle in their eye and a really great love for life attitude. A nice smile in the eyes does it for me every time.
I like the people who can come in, who are intelligent, who have charisma, personality, who speak well, and who are attractive to look at. Because the winner will be joining a team of some of the best presenters in South Africa and even in the world.
After our audition, I actually forgot that I auditioned for Top Billing. I sat around and I went about everyday life because I tried not to think about it too much. And after a week, I kept waiting. After 2 weeks, I was still waiting, and actually I was sitting with my mom and I said, Mom, would it actually be cool if I actually made the next round for the Top Billing presenter search? And as I said that, my phone rang in my pocket and I answered and I was like, hello, there's Simba speaking. Simba, do you know who this is? And I said, top billing. And he's like, yes, you're right. I'm just calling to tell you that, listen, you've made the top 14 for the top billing presenter search. I was over the moon.
Whatever you weigh, the camera typically adds a few kilos to that. So before the next stage, Simba spent 10 days on a strict diet, shed some weight, and arrived slimmer and ready for action. For a party too.
So I've made the top 14 for the presenter search, and we headed to Pilanesberg. And that night, I remember Jeannie said, listen guys, we're going to have a good time. Let's have a bit of a party. You're part of the presenter search, you're part of the family. Let's all live the good life. And I think we all had a little bit too much to drink. And they woke us up at 5 in the morning. I think it only slept for about half an hour. And the next minute, we were in the middle of the bush, and they had these surprise links that they made us do. And Jeannie came and she said, listen, you've got 30 seconds to think of a link, and your link must be 15 seconds. And I think I just managed to get it right, but it was very nerve-wracking.
I'm surrounded by 570 square kilometers of biodiverse and arresting terrain. The setting for the top 14 Sorry.
He's so nervous, I can actually tell how dry his mouth is. He's going... He's awesome.
When it came to the cut, other factors mattered too. The judges had noticed how Simba helped the crew carry gear without being asked to, didn't play the diva, and always learned fast. Though sometimes he got a little ahead of the game.
Now, after the top 14 was the top 11, and we were in Johannesburg now. And one of the tasks we had to do was jump off the cooling towers. And I had this link planned in my head. I had this whole Ric Flair thing that I did. Woo! So they strapped me up, and the cameraman said, cool, is everything ready? And I said, yeah, no, I think I'm ready to go. And I did the whole walk. And as I was about to jump, the guy leaped, and he pulled me back because I almost jumped off without being strapped up properly. I might not actually be here today if it wasn't for that.
It was a roller coaster, as once or twice a less than perfect day put him at risk of going home, but he always rebounded.
Let me remind you, you entered a competition. You knew that it could get brutal, that at any minute it would be one of you to leave the competition. We're very proud of what you did today, and we're very happy to say to the 8 of you, you're all going to Mauritius.
A guy from modest roots entering a new world, he took it all in his stride.
Just made it through to the top 8, and we had to go to Mauritius, which was my first overseas trip, and it was my first time being on a plane ever, was during this process, and we left on my birthday, so the whole process was absolutely amazing.
I just thought we should raise our glasses of champagne and wish Simba a very, very happy birthday on his very first flight to Mauritius.
Well, thank you.
It was soon obvious that one of Simba's biggest rivals would be radio host Bailey Schneider.
The very first briefing was in the pool. That was when it suddenly became real that, oh yes, we're in a holiday destination, but we're not here for a holiday. Bonjour, welcome to Port Louis.
Something in French.
Being in Mauritius itself, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's white sandy beaches, it's turquoise waters, but the process was absolutely, it's excruciating. It's one of the most nerve-wracking things I've ever had to do in my life. And task after task. And the next scene, I think it was for the top 4, I had to learn how to scuba dive. I've never done it before in my life. I did a 30-minute resort course, and next minute I'm in the middle of the Indian Ocean scuba diving.
Up to this point, his closest experience was being part of the school swimming team. His CV was growing fast.
Well, we saw lionfish, clownfish. It's like a tropical lagoon, a mosaic of colors. And so far, that must be the ultimate experience.
That day, he didn't tell anyone he was sick. He just delivered. And one of the factors in his making the final cut was that, like a sponge, he soaked up all he was taught and used it.
So after the scuba diving, I finally made it into the top 2 with Kalesha Naidu. And the final task we had to do was a photo shoot for the top billing magazine. And now, when you've got a beautiful lady like Kalesha, you've got a big black guy like me, I thought, you know, the odds are definitely against me. She's definitely going to take it, because I saw her pictures before and she looked absolutely beautiful. Well, then I took my pictures and they didn't look as beautiful as hers did. And at that point, I thought, there's no way I'm going to win this.
I'm loving this wind in my hair, so to speak. And hopefully this is my life after top billing. Beautiful girls all over me.
He'd put everything on the line, won hearts and kept us laughing. But was it enough?
I remember sitting at the table with all the judges. We sat there with the GM of SABC3. Patience Stevens was there as well. And they're busy talking, and I'm not really hearing much. I'm just seeing cameras and lights. The other contestants were in the background. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I've actually got this in the bag.
For me, it's my honor now to announce the winner of the top billing presenter search. And the winner is Simba. You are next top billing presenter, Simba. Well done.
It was like a big weight just fell off my shoulders, and I've never been so happy in my life.
Top billing allows people to dream about things they could never have. And this is something I never ever dreamed I'd ever have. I'm just looking forward to saying good evening and welcome to top billing.
To Simba. Well done.
That is how the big man joined the band.
Coming up, how Junior here made the grade.
Who are you calling Junior?
Well, hey. Now, Jonathan was always going to be somebody, but had he not entered the top billing presenter search, would he have won the sexiest man in the land or met his celebrity crush Cameron Diaz?
I think not.
But he did, and he's been a runaway train ever since.
Thank you, my brother.
No worries.
At the next presenter search, in the crowd was a young filmmaker at a crossroads.
Johannesburg gets a bite at the cherry as the presenter search hits Ekoli.
I was sitting in a freezing cold Wanderers Stadium with however many thousands of people. I was supposed to be on a beach in Thailand proposing to the love of my life, but that didn't work out too well. So I was in Wanderers Stadium, I was miserable. I waited in the queue for 9 hours. I almost left about 5 times because everybody there was younger, they were better looking, and in my mind, more talented. And literally, as I was about to go, I was called and said, just, you can go in quickly.
You start on that cross and you move to this one.
Okay.
And that's your camera.
Good evening and welcome to Top Billing. My name is Jonathan Boynton-Lee. I'm a writer, director, philanthropist, concrete analyst, abstract artist, starving actor, and a hopeless romantic. Did it, was happy that I did it, and never expected to hear anything again.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, eh? Cheers. Bye.
A commercials and award-winning film director, Jonathan threw himself back into work.
So after the audition, you know, a couple of days passed or weeks, I can't remember how long it was, and then I got the call. They started to slowly whittle it down, and I was like, okay, hang on a second, this is actually happening here. I can't really believe this is really happening. And I remember they came to shoot at my sister's house, and I thought they were kind of profiling the top 30, so I had no idea that I was in the top 10 at this stage.
My mom wasn't joking when she said that the judges were everywhere, and now just every time I get some juice, I have to see the judges again.
We were doing an interview in my nephew's room. At the time, he was maybe only three years old, I would say. And he was saying something to me.
What? Top 10? What's top 10? Top 10? For what?
Meanwhile, he was actually trying to tell me in his 3-year-old dialect that I had made the top 10. But I didn't click, like, because he didn't string it together properly. And eventually I was like, top 10?
10. Really?
Like, I made top 10, and then I asked the cameraman, and they kind of nodded, and then I was like, that was just, the rest is a blur to me. Like, I couldn't believe it.
I made the top 10, give me 5. Yes.
Then there was the infamous makeover he'll never live down.
Now, what are we going to do with all this gorgeous hair?
Wow. Yeah, it's a tough one. Everybody had like a makeover. It was one of our tasks or something we had to do quite early in the competition, but everybody had a lot to work with. My hair was really short. There wasn't much you could do with it, so they were like, okay, well, why don't we just dye it blonde or silver or whatever it turned out. Let's just say I haven't gone back to that blonde hair again. That's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. My first salon experience has been massages and moisturizers and bleach and all kinds of things, and I had the least hair here, and I think I spent the longest in the chair, so...
I looked at your profile picture over here and you've got interesting tattoos. What do they mean?
These are all coordinates, basically, of special places in my life. Like, I was adopted, so it's the place I was adopted. It's the place I found my mother. It's where I grew up, where my nephew was born. Everyone could see that I love my tattoos, and they all had very special meaning to me. And they wanted me to do a tattoo live on television. And, of course, the obvious next coordinate to get would be where I found out that I'd made the top 10, where my nephew, you know, at my sister's house in Beltrefreden Park.
That sound.
The first part's always sore.
So we got the tattoo live. With Jeannie was there. It was just quite surreal being like, okay, I'm here with Jeannie D and I'm getting a tattoo on top billing. You know, what is going on right now? This can't be real.
There you go.
Thank you. Much better. Feeling much more manly now, aren't you guys?
Yeah, just looking at it is making me sweaty.
A Rhodes University drama and journalism graduate, he couldn't act or write himself out of the next scene.
I'm very clumsy, and I also have double jointed fingers. So, you know, if you look at that, like that combined with being clumsy, it's a disaster waiting to happen.
I thought perhaps you could take over and he can show you how to do it.
You're leaving me here in this shed with tools and sharp objects and... With
exactly. Over to you.
Okay. I had to go handle chainsaws with my clumsiness and my rubber fingers, and I just kind of didn't hide the clumsiness, and I didn't hide the fact that my fingers were awkward, and it just worked because I just had fun with it, and that's what top billing is all about, you know, just be yourself, have fun, and take the audience on that journey with you. You know, you're just a human being.
This blade must be blunt or something. Jeffrey, this blade, there's something wrong with this thing. It's not cutting right through.
It's not you.
It's not me. It's definitely not me.
Everybody's pretty civil with everyone, but you know, there's that undercurrent of this is a competition, and I just think at some point something's going to blow. You can feel the tension is starting to pull at the moment.
As a man with a seriously creative mind, Jonathan had to face the facts that sometimes it's his brawn which viewers are most interested in.
So now we're quite deep into the competition and the pressure's on. We all completely, it's nerve-wracking. Everything we're doing is nerve-wracking. Now we must go and model in the middle of a massive shopping center wearing a Speedo.
Feeling a bit like David Hasselhoff here, about to run on the beach. This is the first time I've ever worn a Speedo.
No running on the beach, please. That's too Bollywood, please.
And I think I even did a Superman pose at the end. You know when you're like terrified and you're nervous, you just go to a default where you just do something even more stupid? I think I did a Superman pose at the end of the runway. I completely forgot about that.
The judges and Jonathan agreed that his breakthrough came the day he forgot all self-consciousness.
Blow-carting was another defining moment for me because that was the first time I actually completely just let go.
I was on such a roll until the camera came.
And I was in the moment, and I was just taking the audience on that journey and that experience and what it felt like, and it just all kind of came out. You know, you don't know where it comes from, but it just kind of, it worked.
I'm a sucker for anything that makes me feel like a child again. And this is one of those things.
And then as I finished my link, just the wind kind of took me off into the distance. Like it was just the perfect link. I realized a lot at that point. I was like, okay, this is cool. I love this job. I can do this for the rest of my life.
She looked back. Oh, I tried. No one had her back.
The final task was we got paired up with local musicians. And I got paired up with PageMaker, who was also adopted, asked to play the piano because it's one of the things that I could play. And we had probably 2 days to prepare, and the particular song that Paige was singing, there was no piano piece to it. And she just started kind of thrashing something out with me, and it just evolved. So that was what the amazing thing was, is we actually wrote a piece of music together.
She was alive.
Outstanding.
We can all say that we were here that day and witnessed the birth of like two superstars. I can say it now.
Well done, Jonathan. It was amazing to see you play the piano and sing. Congratulations.
We performed it on my mom's birthday, and she was there, her 70th birthday. It went so well, and then they organized the cake for my mom, and they bought my mom a cake, and it just worked out so beautifully in the end. Everything was just so perfect.
Bronwyn Boynton-Lee had watched her son become a musician, poet and painter, but one art form had yet to be mastered.
One of the iconic things that we always remember from top billing, and I certainly remember growing up, is the links and the glamorous dresses and top billing hands and walking down staircases or just walking. So of course the final task for top billing was exactly that.
How long does it take to prepare for this job? You'd have to say your whole life. Has it been a blast? Yes. A marathon? Absolutely.
Oh, that was nerve-wracking, yeah. I remember being so nervous and I wanted to use the balustrade to help myself down, and my hand was shaking like this and I felt like my feet were, I was going to trip, you know, the clumsiness. I just tore myself flying down that staircase. Somehow I managed to get it out and walk down that staircase.
So did all the final four.
Just had no idea, and your mind starts playing tricks on you and like, have I done enough and could I have done more, and you know how you drive yourself crazy. Just like I did in the very first day of auditions, my mind was driving me crazy with all these thoughts, and then I just had to take a deep breath and realize, you know, I've done everything I can do.
The winner of the My Top Billing Dream reality show is
Among the stars,
Jonathan.
yes, my dream.
It took a long time for me to realize that I was actually a top billing presenter. It took many inserts because I still have to pinch myself.
Got Jonathan, there's Roxy and Tracy busy with the shooting.
Okay, great. How'd I look?
Hey, you look fantastic, man.
Something in my teeth?
No, you're perfect.
Okay, cool. Wish me luck.
They're gonna love you.
I hope so. I hope so.
One of the first travel gigs I did was two of the most beautiful women in South Africa, Roxy Lowe and Tracy McGregor, on a tropical island in the middle of Mozambique. Like, how can that not be a highlight? It was at that moment when we were sitting on the beach together and I was like, wow, you know, all that stuff I watched on Top Billing, it really is that amazing. You're often watching it and you think, no, it can't be that amazing. There's something, you know, it's too good to be true. But sitting on that Kilauea island and probably the closest place I've ever seen to paradise with these two beautiful women, and I'm like, yeah, top billing is exactly what it seems. It's the ultimate dream. It's the ultimate job.
As it proved in this interview.
Cameron?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Leslie, welcome to Top Billing. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks for having us.
The interview hasn't started yet, but it's already my favorite interview ever.
All right.
Highlights for me, definitely Cameron Diaz, of course. She's on my voicemail. I mean, I remember watching There's Something About Mary like 16 years ago and falling in love with her in that movie like every single guy across the whole world did.
I just went completely blank there because I'm staring into your blue eyes and I'm like...
And I was in college and I said to my mates, I'm going to meet her one day and she's going to do my voicemail. I wrote down, this is 16 years ago, what she was going to say on my voicemail, and I kept it in my wallet.
The final thing is not a question, it's actually a request. So, like, you know, everyone's got like a
You want
bucket.
to hang out with us after work?
Totally. Yeah. I'm South Africa.
We get it. We get it.
I've got this bucket list, okay, and right on top of the bucket list, along with becoming a top billing presenter and free diving the sharks and solving teleportation and climbing Kilimanjaro, get Cameron Diaz to do your voicemail.
Oh, no way, really?
So if you can just say something like, hi, this is Cameron Diaz. Jonathan can't come to the phone right now because he's busy giving me a back rub. Please try again later.
Okay, I'm going to change that up a little bit.
You can change it up however you want. And you guys feel free to kind of, you know that we're going to
sure.
be...
Hey, it's Cameron Diaz. Jonathan can't get to the phone right now. He's really busy giving me a foot rub. He'll get back to you as soon as he can. Okay, have a beautiful day.
So it just shows you, you know, if you visualize it, if you dream it, it can be.
Guys, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for my pork rinds.
Thanks for taking off my another bucket list.
In turn, Jonathan has become the celebrity crush of countless women, and the proof was where he placed in Cosmo's list of the sexiest men in SA.
2014 was filled with wow, what a year. Like, starting with Cosmo's Sexiest Man. There was not a single moment where I thought I was going to win that competition. And so, you know, winning that and then having my top billing family there, and Simba was there, and Bonang was emceeing, and Jeannie was there because her boyfriend was one of my competitors in the competition.
How does it feel? It's a bit overwhelming at the moment. I don't really know what to say, dude. Now listen, is there a bit of pressure on you now? No more pies. Listen, no more pizzas. Sharing airtime with you and Bonang and Jeannie, I'm under pressure to look good, dude. So this is a good way to go forward, you know.
It was just the start of one of them, probably the best, by far the best year of my life.
Even apparently hopeless situations turned around in spectacular fashion.
Then the Strictly Come Dancing, I mean, that was a journey. I'd never danced in my life. It was basically someone saying to you, take the thing you're worst at in life and go and do it live in front of however many millions of people.
It's probably the toughest thing I've done since the top billing search, which was a very similar type of journey for me. I'd never presented before, kind of thrown into the deep end, but enjoy every second, every day, just embrace it because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Week 1, we got the lowest score. Haley was like, okay, we're going home. It was fun while it lasted. And then just week by week, it was the most incredible journey, you know. And before we knew it, it was top 5. 2 dances a week, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week we were rehearsing. The support from my top billing family, unbelievable. The fans as well, they just really were behind me, and it really did carry me through in the end, and unbelievably, I still don't know how it happened, but we won. Became, apparently, I'm told, the first person in the world to win 2 reality shows.
Mom, Dad, I love you. This is for you. Thank you so much.
It's like a family. Top billing is like a family, and it's like shooting with your family, and it just makes it so easy. You mess up, you have a laugh, and you carry on. And you know, I was always made to feel so welcome and so part of the family.
You the man.
No, you the man.
All right, I'm the man.
Up next, Simba takes the plunge into the best of the good life and is rewarded with moments he still can't believe.
So it's the best of the good life that we lead.
It is as outrageously fun, thrilling, and extraordinary as it looks.
You be the judge.
These are some of our best moments.
This hardly looks like the workday of an accounting graduate. Ballooning with Boynton-Lee, taking sundowners in Zanzibar, hanging with Robert Downey Jr., Julia Roberts, and MPHASA. Simba's workplace and assignments are never going to be run-of-the-mill.
My first shoot on the job was in Simonstown. It was a Navy diving shoot, and we rocked up on set, and all the people there from the diving school ready for us. They wanted to put me in a diving suit, and I was like, no. They wanted to put me in a Speedo as well. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But we did it with the guy who won the Manhunt Challenge, which is a show on SABC3, and it was just a tough challenge completely. I mean, the woman in the diving school were tougher than him and I, because we were picking each other up. They were picking us up. They were throwing us around. We had to jump in the water. Just before we jumped in the water, they actually told us there's this shark in the water, so I was in and out there as quickly as possible. But the toughest part about it was we did stuff in a diving tank. We had to go and fetch some rounds at the bottom. It was about 10 meters deep. But both of us tried it, and we just couldn't get it right. Okay, Lisa, this is a joke, because this doesn't look that bad at all.
You think so? Okay, you can try and fetch this.
Okay, you first. No, I think ladies first.
It wasn't as if Simba didn't get enough chances. What he didn't know is that leading seaman Lisa Lotta was the dive school's best qualified female diver ever. His appetite for a challenge undiminished, he then headed for a country halfway inside the Arctic Circle.
My first overseas trip on the job was in Norway. And as we landed, my director just looked at me and said, listen, your task for the next few days is just to learn how to ski. So I tried to learn how to ski. We even did some stuff with the little kids. These little 3-year-old kids were doing circles around me while I was falling over with my long legs all over the place. But eventually I sort of figured it out and things were great.
Okay, so I fell a few times, but it's not as easy as it looks. But you gotta give me some sort of credit. I got from a baby slope to a green slope to a blue slope all in one day. Now watch this.
Where others take years to prepare for the Winter Olympics, Simba gave himself a morning.
Now that's what I call an adrenaline rush. Let's do that again, Marcus.
After the skiing, we had to do a kick sledge competition. It was a fancy dress competition, and me and the crew, we went around town, and we tried to find a costume for myself. We couldn't find anything. My director said, listen, spandex. And I said, what do you mean by spandex? She said, no, you're going to wear spandex. So the next minute there I was stepping out of the store, full red spandex, sweatband, boots. I think it was minus 25 with the wind chill factor. The next minute there I am on a kick sledge, and it was unbelievably cold.
There's a reason Santa Claus has a long beard, carries a few extra kilos, and wears a woolly hat. He also has reindeer to do the hard yards.
This is not human!
This near the North Pole, you keep moving.
I've seen it all.
But next minute the DJ played some music that took me back home. He played Waka Waka. For some reason they think that's the African national anthem now, but I had a great time out there.
A former Gauteng 100-meter sprint champion, Simba's always game to get the true measure of the celebrity athletes who guest star on Top Billing. It's his way of breaking the ice. But as with Liam Vandiar, it doesn't always go his way.
I can't work like this. I mean, you guys at home know that I beat Raymond Drool in a sprint. I bounced Theo Khaleesi, but I can't take penalties from you. What's the problem?
I think it's just the luck of the day.
Would Simba's way of relating to sports stars have to get more formal with Hollywood A-listers? As it turned out, no. He applies that same disarming approach and they love him.
My first junket on the job, I remember having an interview with a journalist and he said, Simba, where would you most like to go and who would you like to interview? And I said, I would love to go to Brazil. And he said, who would you like to interview? I said, I'd love to interview Jamie Foxx. Within an hour, my production manager phoned me and said, Simba, listen, we need you to go to Brazil and to interview Jamie Foxx, Anne Hathaway, will.i.am and Jesse Eisenberg. I'm like, did they actually know about this interview or was this supposed to be a surprise? But it actually happened. Next minute I'm in Brazil and I remember being at the bar and I'm having drinks with Jamie Foxx. Next minute I'm interviewing Anne Hathaway. Next minute I'm interviewing Jamie Foxx and will.i.am.
JB, you do so many good impersonations. Can you do a good will.i.am?
Doing music is different. Sort of like, was it?
One of the best press junkets I'd ever done was interviewing Robin Williams. I still remember sitting outside the room and I was waiting to go inside. The next minute, one of the people from production walks up and says, Simba, listen, we're ready for you now, you can come inside. And they call out to Robin and said, Robin, listen, we've got Simba from South Africa here for you. Then he says, oh, are you from South Africa? He could do this African accent to the T. He's like, listen, I've got a mate in Cape Town, have a seat, are you well, my butt? And I was just like, wow, this guy's an absolute machine. And it was a great interview. We were having laughs, and he actually did an impersonation of Christopher Walken for me.
You do so many great impersonations. What is your favorite right now?
My favorite? Well, I want to do a movie about zombies called The Walking Dead, where the entire town becomes Chris Walken. You walk into the town and all of a sudden people go, wait a minute, your mother, Dad, I think Mom's gotten bitten. And you go, and then she comes in the room going, kids, dinner, we have to go. What's happened to me? Imagine a whole movie with, by the end of the movie, everyone's going, be careful, where are we going? In 3D? Now, better.
Well, that was the great Christopher Walken interview.
Walking movies. Be there and zombies, but yet still talking and taking time for no reason.
When I heard of his death, it was a bit sad for me because I thought, you know what, I'm glad that I actually had the privilege of being able to sit down with this guy and have a chat.
The human story behind the entertainer is what top billing always looks for, and Simba also strikes gold closer to home.
One of the more recent shoots that I've done, which was very inspiring, was with DJ Spoo. And just knowing that he comes from humble beginnings like I do. When I think about my parents living in a one-bedroom house with a kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, all in one. And then he told me his story about having 11 children in a 4-bedroom house. So I just sort of resonated with the guy. And just connecting with him on that level was absolutely amazing. And to look at what he's come from and to where he is now is amazing.
And now coming from a township like Tembisa, is that why you always felt the need to give back?
Of course. I mean, that's where we come from. And I mean, you look at the situation at large in the country, and there is a need for all of us to do something, and that's the reason I do my part, you know.
In 2013, the public voted Simba their most stylish man. Then, a year later, favorite TV presenter.
The red carpet is rolled out for this year's Youth Spectacular, and all the stars you voted for are here and dressed to the nines.
Winning the presenter search, I never thought that I was the greatest presenter, and every single day was a learning process. I had to learn from the crew every single day. And in 2014, I got nominated as Youth Spectacular's favorite presenter, and that for me in itself was amazing. But then I went on to win it, and I stood on that stage, I held that trophy, and it was just a surreal moment in itself.
I'm sorry, are you the best TV presenter in the country?
Apparently. I learned from the best, though.
Thank you. Congratulations, Simba.
Thank you.
Because you are the best, because you work with the best, and you work the hardest.
What Mr. Mhere has squeezed into the last 4 years with top billing is enough to fill a lifetime, and he intends filling many more lifetimes to come.
Cheers. Coming up, sparks fly with Miss USA. Jonathan puts a kill shot in Scotland, then puts it on the line for his love of sharks.
Yeah,
I still can't believe I get paid to do this.
I can't believe you get paid to do it either.
Easy.
Joking.
Nana, you just officially became the tallest person I've ever interviewed in my life.
Yeah, I'm tall.
Look how high her legs go. I mean, they end above my belly button. Shall we walk?
Yes, we can still be friends.
I can fit under her arm. This is fantastic. It's the first time in my life ever.
Aww.
Chemistry is so important to have with someone you're interviewing and someone you're shooting with. And either you click with a person or you don't. It's like in everyday life. Miss USA was one of the people that we just had amazing chemistry together. And it just worked. Like just the chemistry between the two of us, and there was something magic, and the viewers loved it. And then we ended up doing a sequel when she came back home, and we filmed because she was born in Soweto. And met her family.
It's not bad.
How are you? How's it going? Oh, she kissed me.
Oh, everyone has a crush on you.
And it's a perfect example of how chemistry can make an insert. And I always use the example of Boyti as well. That was a very different type of chemistry. That's like a brother, sister, best friend type of chemistry. And then you got the Miss USA, which is more of a flirty, romantic chemistry.
So you're one of the first African lawyers in the country.
Yes,
Your negotiation skills are top-notch.
Yes, they are.
Let's speak Lobola. What am I looking at here for that lovely girl over there?
I'm thinking $1 million.
$1 million what?
Cows.
$1 million cows?
$1 million cows. Non-negotiable.
Whatever kind of chemistry it is, it's just amazing how an insert can work so beautifully if you just click with that person.
1, 2, 3, and then we work.
It just made me try.
Travelogues are always so special and always a favorite because you get to see a place in a way that you would never even dream of. We've been in hot air balloons over the Sossusvlei dunes. We've been up the second highest dune in the world. We've hiked up there, camera gear and everything. We've gone through Washington, and you just see a place like you never would dream of seeing it and stay in the most beautiful places. And I just love getting lost in a place. Washington was freezing. I remember us. My lips were basically frozen together. I couldn't even deliver a link to camera. I remember that.
Hey, Jonathan. How's it going, Tyler? Is it cold enough for you out here? Yeah.
I remember Lars trying to watch playback on one of the takes, and he was like, oh, it's not that cold. And then he takes his gloves off, and he couldn't even like stop shaking. He couldn't even push the button properly. So it was very difficult conditions to shoot him. But it's part of the experience, you know, and you go with it. And also Scotland, another highlight, Edinburgh, going to that castle and taking part in the Highland Games and interviewing Richard Branson. And, you know, you get to do these things that are just wearing a kilt and have a -4-degree temperatures, whatever it was. And, yeah, I was wearing underwear, though. Or maybe I wasn't. We'll just leave that open to the imagination.
Being part of the story instead of simply telling the story is the mark of the best top-billing presenters. When Jonathan was called upon to put his money where his mouth is and dive with black tip and tiger sharks, he was not found wanting.
Leslie, I'm an advanced diver, but I've only been in the water with sharks once, so I'm very, very nervous, and I'm hoping that these footprints are not the last footprints I ever leave in the sand.
There's no secret that sharks are my favorite animals, and they always have been. And this was the first time, you know, I dived with sharks before, but from quite a distance. This time they were literally, I was doing a link to camera and elbowing sharks off me while I was talking to camera. There were probably about 40 of them on the dive. And I just fell in love with them. Like, at that moment, it makes no sense that I would fall in love with sharks because, you know, being in the middle of a feeding frenzy. But it was at that point that I joined up with Leslie and I became a shark warrior for shark conservation worldwide. Because they're honestly the most misunderstood animals on the planet. Steven Spielberg just didn't give them a chance. Like, after Jaws, they had no hope.
After a while, you realize there's absolutely nothing to be scared of. When you're on the surface and you see the fins thrashing and you want to dive in, it's that preconceived notion of what a shark's all about. And when you're under there, it's just the most calming. My soul has never been at such rest. Yeah, unbelievable, life-changing experience. Someone I haven't seen in a while, Peter de Villiers. Yeah. How's it, Peter?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Very nice to meet you. Michael, what's your name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, lovely man. You remind me a bit of someone, you know, Oscar, you look like Oscar, my friend.
You know, South African comedians are the funniest in the world. I always believed it. And that was cemented home when we shot with NIK RABINOWITZ in Cape Town. You know, it's just so cool and so much fun shooting with somebody who's just so naturally hilarious.
Born in Constantia, you grew up on a farm. You've come a long way since then.
Not that long, only about 12 kilometers that way is the farm.
You know, seeing how he operates those puppets and does those voices up close, it's just, you appreciate the talent even more because we see it up on a screen and it almost seems unreal that he can do these voices and you know, be that talented.
I haven't seen you in church for so very long. You know, it's actually quite mind-boggling.
It's incredible what they do, and then just to have to be able to be privileged to be face-to-face with these people that are so talented and so funny, and Nick was one of those examples. Proudly South African, they're always the best.
Kanye, how are you?
Hi, Jonathan. Oh,
nice to see you. Do you read a lot of tabloids and everything to keep?
I don't read except my own book. And also I read in The Sun you and I were dating, which is totally untrue. I would never date a younger guy.
I got the job, but amongst my fellow contestants were far funnier, more entertaining men and women than me, even if they didn't mean to be.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, South Africa.
And welcome to Top Billing.
Good morning. My name is Faith. I'm from Polokwane. We're going to celebrate Top Billing today. I love Top Billing. I love Simba. I love everyone. I love the whole world. I believe I'm an angel. I believe I can make it. I believe I can make everyone happy. I believe I can make the whole world love Top Billing.
Are you a fan of Top Billing?
Yes. Yes. It's a good life.
Top Billing.
I'm Rona Mahalo. She's 19 years old, located in Phoenix, Durban. My striker personality, bold and beautiful, cutting edge. The face of possibility, got the Irish type with a touch of creativity. Being Davita is an ever-developing drama.
You know, now you're listening at home, so you're watching at home, so you need to surprise you because you know everything is new, is you at home because you need to stay tuned there with SABC3. This is Top Billing, yeah.
Yeah.
Action!
How cool is this?
How cool is this?
How cool is this?
I'd like to have fun, be around people, entertainment, and be on TV, of course.
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain.
I can't hear you.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Have you guys watched the show?
No.
Hello and welcome to Top Billing. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, who's this now?
Yes, it's true. You're not making a mistake. It's me, the one and only CARENE BREYTENBACH. I actually have a question to ask you. Have you ever encountered an experience of being in a rhino reserve park, a wild park reserve?
I will start again.
Good evening.
She'll be short. Well, with.
I am very.
That actually went really bad. I wish I could do it over.
Can I start again?
Can I start over?
I think you must.
Yeah.
You're gonna be traveling all over the world without a passport. Just stay with E.
It's been real.
Up next, Simba and Jonathan discuss their famous bromance and confess it's hard to call it work when they're having this much fun.
In the tradition of Laurel and Hardy,
Frodo and Sam,
Batman and Robin,
we do our best work together.
Here's to a very special on-screen bromance I'm proud to be part of.
Me too, bro.
Meeting for the first time on camera, Jonathan and Simba were instantly like school buddies, playing cowboys and Indians all day until Mom called them in for dinner.
You know, when you go through a presenter search and you sort of know how things are, you have to find your feet, you know how tough it is to sort of find what works for you. Sort of offered my service and said, listen, dude, if you need to call someone, here's my number.
I reached out, he didn't offer. I reached out. But he was there for me. It's quite a daunting thing, you know, you need somebody to bounce things off, and you cannot, you can't describe what it's like going through the process, man. It's nice to have it. It was nice to have him there, and
I think we get each other, we get the feeling.
Yeah, we get each other, we get the feeling. See, I even copy what he said.
What Top Billing is, there's always going to be a party. So let's get things started, my man. Sweet.
Introducing Jonathan to Top Billing, it was a cowboy incident on a cowboy ranch, and they were all dressed up, checkered. We had the boots, we had the hats and everything. And it was supposed to be a bit of a challenge, but I sort of lost at everything. Absolutely everything. Probably one of the funniest inserts we've ever done. I had a lot of fun. Up, 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 up.
There we go. It doesn't matter. Forget Cameron Diaz, everything. The best is shooting stuff together.
Oh, yes.
That's such a joy. Like working, bouncing off each other and that sort of thing. And especially one of the last things we did together was they actually did a profile on me, and Simba came and interviewed me. Like, that was so cool, like in meeting the family, and sounds like I'm talking about a chick.
No, it was special. I think it was great to sort of see where he's come from and get more insight as to who he is as a presenter and as a friend as well.
I hate to admit this in front of him, but I actually have been a fan of Simba's, you know, when he was on Top Billing, obviously, so like, but that's the only time I ever did it. I'll take that back, actually.
We always love the two of us doing inserts together. I mean, the most recent one we did was a road trip.
And he shot me in the face with a paintball gun.
A few times, but not intentionally.
2 days after I broke my nose in a boxing match. What does my little brother do to me? He shoots me in the face, in the nose. It's always like little brother. That's weird, though.
It is, eh?
Like, he's actually my little brother by like 10 years. How crazy is that?
People don't know that. Look how good he looks.
But is it all peace, love, and understanding?
There's definitely rivalry.
There's a rivalry. I secretly hate him. I have a dartboard at home with his face on it, and I just throw things at it.
True story.
You know, but then I just pretend like now that I like him. You know,
we do it for camera.
Things like that.
Don't touch me.
Oh.
So are you here to steal my thunder again?
No.
Can you just give me my moment, Simba?
If Simba once teased that this is a younger man's game, then Jonathan's response was to win Cosmo's sexiest man. As MC of the event, Monang tried to stay impartial.
I want to find out, how are you going to be able to compose yourself on stage? Do you have anything to calm yourself down?
I do. 2015, Simba's going to be there, Simba's going to be there, Simba's going to be there. That's the only thing that's keeping me intact tonight.
I am a fan, I hate to admit it, and I always have been. But there's been something I'm wanting to get off my chest for a long time now. Yeah. Why did you wear waistcoats? But pretty much every single insert that you did.
But it was like my thing. I thought.
But did you when you got dressed in the morning and you looked in the mirror and you put another waistcoat on? Were you like, this is looking cool?
This guy. You see, it worked for me. I had different colors. It worked.
Did it?
Actually, hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Speaking of dress code, do you ever wear a shirt?
I knew that was coming.
Actually. Because, I mean, it's a problem for me.
That's different. Did the director say to you, put a waistcoat on?
Did the director tell you to take it?
Yes. But he's cleaned up good.
Keep your shit on.
He's the most stylish man in South Africa now, apparently. I don't know who votes for these things, but yeah, someone's voting for that.
Hey, man, but it's all good fun. I had no swag back then, but I think I sort of...
You cleaned up good.
I found it now.
He always wanted to be a mermaid.
It's merman.
Sort of have to work with.
So the big news you need to know is that in 2015, we're looking for 3 presenters.
Which multiplies your chances by 300%.
Different skills will win it for different shows on SABC3, and whichever show you're right for, you'll find it on 3.
So get to those auditions and show us what you've got, South Africa.
Until next Thursday, good night and God bless.
Auditions begin at Cape Town Stadium on the 13th and 14th of February. The presenter search then moves to PE on the 22nd, to Durban on Feb 28th and March the 1st, then Joburg on Friday the 6th to Sunday the 8th of March. Details on the website presentersearchon3.com. Good luck.